My name's Aaron, welcome back to my channel. How are you? I'm fantastic and I'm doing really well. And today I'm reviewing Labo Patchouli 24. I'm very pleased to have little bottles. This is 141 for 50ml. So this is smoky marketing. Oh, this is an oriental. The base note is vanilla. The middle notes are birch, strax, and the top note is patchouli. So this is smoky. Leathery notes of birch from the base of this patchouli et de parfum. The floral strength of patchouli is quirky lightning with a touch of vanilla, bringing a gentle dose of softness to this distinctive fragrance. I've never thought of patchouli as a top note, ever. I don't think of it like that, so very interested. Do we have our bottles of Patchouli 24 by Labo? Are we engaged with our high self? Let's get testing. So I've never tested this house, and it's very cute bottles. Of course I've seen them, but super interested. Never know what to expect with this sort of stuff. Oh, there's something really unpalatable. As I really hope that dries down. I'm gonna give it a minute. There's a smokiness it's like a bonfire sort of smell to it, which is a little bit overwhelming. Oh, patchouli is one of my most favorite raw materials. When I was 13, 14, I was gothic. I was listening to The Cure and Sisters of Mercy and Bauhaus and all that stuff. And I used to put on pure patchouli and walk around in black clothes trying to be depressed, which is quite difficult when you're quite happy. Okay, it's drying down better. So if you're yet to try this, put it on and leave it and then go back to it. This smells like Niche Perfumery, so this smells like something interesting. This has sort of surprised me and taken me for a surprise. I kind of didn't know what to expect, and I didn't expect this. I expected from the literature that this was going to be soft and floral and airy. I kind of didn't expect this at all. So I kind of think the marketing could do with being rejiggled because it's a smoky fragrance. So the smokiness is a raw material which I love using. It's very nice, and it's called Terpinous Patchouli, and it smells like clean patchouli, and it gives smokiness. It gives a photonic feel to it, aids in elevation, and when we've combined with patchouli, you're getting the top note patchouli, and that's what's happening here. This is better on the dry down. Gosh, there was a little bit unpalatable, I have to say. So this is light and airy, Hedione based. And this has not got the ISO Super in because it hasn't got that weight to it. It hasn't got that ambery wood feel to it. Surprised me with this sort of thing. This has a musk in, which works through the whole formulation and helps to deal with the bloom of the fragrance. So how they're getting around quite a simplistic formula is they're dealing with very heavy musks. So this is a musk heavy formulation, but this musk works throughout the whole formulation, but works on the top. Excitatory, blooming feel to it. It works with the blooms to the top note. This is what they're doing with it. To sweeten it, because you absolutely have to sweeten this sort of like stuff, it is the sort of the ethyl vanillin to give us sort of a smoothness. Ethyl vanillin in different doses does different things, but it can give a nice creamy feel. Vanillin can also do stuff as well, but it also can help to smooth slightly. I would sort of smooth it, kind of how they're smoothing it, which is sort of like some of the softer sandwood-like raw materials, and they are things like sandal, bangalore, all those sort of things help to smooth out a formulation. So this has got a smooth middle to it, and that is a mixture of the oak moss, that is a mixture of the vanillin raw materials, and then the smooth sandwood-like raw materials. I quite like this on the dry down. I've got to say, I think this has like an addictive quality to it. So initially I didn't like it. It was just a blast of eugenol and sort of oak moss, and it sort of was like, it sort of hit my brain. It was a little bit too much. On the dry down, it's tamer and it's smoother. And there's something about it which has an addictive quality. So I can understand why this does well. This is well crafted. This is designed to give airy lightness to fill out a room, to trail behind and sort of smell sort of sensual. There's a sort of sensualness to it, and that is the oak moss like raw materials. Oak moss helps to give a sensual feel to it. It doesn't really smell like oak moss. It gives us a sort of a sensual feel to it, sort of a mossy, obviously, but like a mossy sensual feel in different sort of amounts, just differing things. This is smoky. It's a palatable smokiness. How I think this is this is a signature fragrance, and this is someone who loves this, and this sort of person would wear it and then you would smell it and be reminded of that person. This is so unique and so different. It's sort of quite a cool fragrance, definitely niche perfumery. The ethyl vanillin is sort of more apparent. It's sort of that sort of ice creamy sort of finish to it. On to my final thoughts. I'm in two minds whether I like it, whether I don't like it. Personally speaking, I would love this to have gone in more of a incensey finish to it and less smoky. I'd love the smokiness to be toned down and a bit more incensiness put around it. But that is personal. I'll go from Mark's review. Super technical, gets a 2 out of 2. All its paperwork is there, fantastic. I think it's simplistic, but clever perfumery. I think it's like cool. I quite like it. I think it's someone's signature fragrance, so I think the perfumer did a really good job. It's most unique in a signature fragrance. So it gets a 2 out of 2. The price, yeah, I think it's worth the price. Because when you're a smaller company, raw materials are more expensive and you haven't got that thing in place to mass produce millions of bottles. It's kind of a little bit more difficult. I'm assuming they're a small company now. I kind of don't know too much about them. Yeah, I think it's worth the price. Sort of top end. Do I like it? I think it's okay. I think it's someone's signature fragrance. I think it's interesting and unique. It's absolutely not for me. I love patchouli. I would have made it smoother and I would have made it incensey. It's trying to be incensey. It's sort of, if you close your eyes and smell it and just think if it had less smokiness and a little bit more incense, I kind of think you would understand what I'm doing. But I kind of think maybe on the dry down it may do that. But it does have something where I'm going back and smelling it and I quite like it. If I'm going to put this in a demographic, it feels to me not overly masculine and it feels sort of more unisex going towards slightly feminine. That's kind of what I think. And that is the smoothness, that's sort of the softness that comes with it. But I think it's sort of dead on unisex. I think it's been built really well. I'm going to mark this as 7 out of 10. It's just not for me. That's kind of what it comes down to. But I think it's excellent. I think it's dealing really good technical perfumery. I think all this paperwork's there. I think it's good for the price. Sort of long lasting and all that stuff. Not super projecting, but nobody really wants that, do they? So if you love that review, thumbs up and subscribe on fascinating, interesting content. Lots of moving hands and lots of fragrance reviews. Hope you're staying safe and well, and I'll see you soon.